Have you ever noticed that people who insult others are rarely truly confident? Most insults come not from strength, but from deep insecurity hidden behind a mask of disrespect. What if the real power in any insult isn't in reacting, but in turning the tables and exposing the insulter's weakness? Some people insult others not because they're strong, but because they're weak. They use disrespect as a shield to hide their own insecurity. But here's the truth: confident people don't need to bring others down. The ones who do, they're desperate for validation. So next time someone tries to humiliate you, don't just defend yourself. Flip the script, make them the one who looks pathetic, insecure, and try hard. Because the real power move isn't reacting, it's exposing their weakness for everyone to see. Here's how. By the way, if you enjoy deep, thought-provoking insights on stoicism, self-improvement, and navigating life with wisdom, you'll love my free newsletter. Every day, I share powerful lessons, controversial truths, and practical strategies to help you level up, all for free. 1. Pretend you misunderstood. There's something deeply frustrating about a person who refuses to be insulted. Think about it. When someone tries to put you down, their goal is simple. They want a reaction. They want to see you flinch, get defensive, or maybe even lash out. Why? Because that reaction makes them feel powerful. But what if you robbed them of that power? What if, instead of reacting how they expect, you acted like their insult was actually a compliment? This is the power of misdirection. Insults are like guided missiles aimed at your mind. The moment you respond in a way they didn't anticipate, their entire strategy crumbles. Suddenly, they don't look confident anymore. They look confused, frustrated, and insecure. They realize they have no control over your emotions, and that realization eats away at them. Let me share a personal story, one that completely changed how I see disrespectful people. Back in high school, there was this guy, let's call him Kevin. Kevin was the kind of dude who needed attention like oxygen. If people weren't laughing at his jokes, or if he wasn't the center of the conversation, he'd start looking for someone to put down just to get a reaction. One day, I became his target. We were in the hallway between classes when Kevin loudly said, "Man, you really think you're smart, huh?" In that smug, sarcastic tone that immediately made people turn their heads. Now, let's be honest, in that moment, my ego wanted to react. I wanted to say something sharp to make the crowd laugh at him instead of me. That's what most people would do, right? I said, "Wow, thanks man, that means a lot." The second those words left my mouth, Kevin's face changed completely. He wasn't expecting that response. He squinted, like he was trying to process what had just happened. Then he tried again. "No, I mean, you act like you know everything." I nodded enthusiastically and replied, "Yeah man, I love learning new things. You noticing that, appreciate it." And that was it. The hallway erupted with laughter, not at me, but at him. Kevin scrambled to clarify that he was, in fact, trying to insult me. But by that point, he had already lost. He looked insecure, desperate to prove that he was being mean. That's when I realized something powerful. When you don't react to an insult, you turn the insulter into the fool. Why this works: the psychology of insecurity. People who insult others aren't strong. They just pretend to be. Their power doesn't come from within themselves. It comes from making other people feel smaller. But when you refuse to be insulted, you completely flip the entire dynamic. They wanted to hurt you, but now they look dumb. They wanted to control your reaction, but now they feel powerless. They wanted the crowd to laugh at you, but now the crowd is laughing at them. Here's the hard truth: confident people don't insult others. Weak people do, and weak people hate it when their insults fail. Why pretending to misunderstand an insult is so powerful? It exposes just how insecure they really are. Let's break it down further. 1. Insults only work if you give them power. Think about it. If someone insulted you in a language you don't understand, would you be offended? No, because the meaning behind the words doesn't exist for you, it's just noise. But when someone insults you in a language you do understand, suddenly you feel something. Why? Because you give meaning to it. You decide to take it personally. Now, what if you refused? What if, instead of allowing their words to affect you, you twisted them into something positive? Suddenly, their insult loses all its power. 2. The confusion factor. Why it frustrates them. When someone insults you, they expect you to get defensive, insult them back, or get embarrassed. But when you pretend you don't even realize it was an insult, their brain short circuits. They don't know what to do next. It's like trying to punch a cloud, it just absorbs the hit and stays right there. The more they try to clarify their insult, the worse they look. 3. Why this tactic works in any situation. This isn't just a trick for high school bullies, it works everywhere. At work, if a coworker says, "You sure take your time with reports," smile and say, "Yeah, I like getting things perfect." Appreciate you noticing. Now they look like a bitter complainer. In social situations, if someone says, "Wow, you don't talk much, do you?" just nod and say, "Yeah, I love listening to people. It's how I learn." Suddenly, you look wise, and they look insecure for pointing it out. You simply nod and say, "Yeah, I love listening to people. It's how I learn." With just this simple response, you immediately appear calm, wise, and composed. Meanwhile, the person who tried to point out something trivial now looks insecure, awkward, and petty for focusing on such a minor detail. This subtle shift in perception puts you in a position of quiet strength while they reveal their own discomfort. In family situations, when a relative criticizes you by saying, "You still haven't figured out what you're doing with your life," don't rush to defend yourself or get upset. Instead, grin gently and say, "Nope, life's an adventure, and I'm loving every moment of the ride." With that simple statement, their attempt to shame you completely falls flat. They end up looking like joyless critics, while you exude confidence, positivity, and peace of mind. No matter what the context is, whether at work, social gatherings, or family events, this trick works every time because it forces the person throwing insults to realize just how foolish and petty they sound when they try to tear you down. 2. Act disappointed in them. Anger is the response everyone expects when insults fly. It's predictable and, quite honestly, easy to fall into. But disappointment is a much more powerful, less expected reaction. It can be crippling for the person trying to provoke you. When someone insults you, they are desperately trying to elicit a reaction from you, whether it's anger, defensiveness, or silence. Don't give them any of those. Instead, take a deep breath, sigh gently, shake your head slowly, and say with calm sincerity, "Wow, I really expected better from you." Watch carefully as the power dynamic shifts immediately. The person who tried to bring you down suddenly finds themselves scrambling. Their insult has backfired. Instead of making you look bad, they look pathetic and foolish. Why this works so effectively? Disappointment flips the script. Instead of you appearing weak, hurt, or rattled, they become the ones who appear weak, foolish, and childish. It creates self-doubt. They start questioning why they even said what they did and whether it was appropriate or necessary. It shatters their ego. Rather than feeling powerful or in control, they feel small, embarrassed, and exposed. The psychology behind disappointment. Disappointment cuts deeper than anger because it is tied closely to expectations. When someone realizes that they have let you down, even if you don't hold them in high regard, they experience a sharp pang of regret. They start to question their own behavior, wondering things like, "Why did I say that? Or did I go too far?" Most people don't want to be perceived as immature, mean-spirited, or petty. While they may insult others to seek attention or to feel superior, when you respond with calm, measured disappointment instead of rage or defensiveness, you completely flip the dynamic. Suddenly, they are the childish ones, not you. How to execute this response perfectly? Stay completely calm. Avoid any sarcasm, anger, or emotional escalation. Keep your tone steady, measured, and sincere. Maintain firm eye contact, then slowly look away as a clear sign of dismissal. Say nothing more than the necessary phrase. Let the silence that follows carry the weight. This is where the real impact happens. Use confident body language. Stand tall, move slowly and deliberately. Keep your voice low and even. The calmer and more controlled you sound, the more powerful your response will be. Real-life example, workplace scenario. Imagine you're at work and a colleague throws a passive-aggressive comment your way about your performance. Instead of snapping back or trying to justify yourself, take a deep breath, shake your head slightly with disappointment, and say, "I really thought you were better than that." Then calmly move on with your work, leaving them standing there embarrassed, exposed, and completely unsure of how to respond next. In that moment, the power belongs entirely to you. You've shown restraint, confidence, and control. while they're left scrambling for a comeback that doesn't exist. Then, when appropriate, you simply walk away. They're left standing there, feeling embarrassed, exposed, and confused. They have no idea how to respond, and more importantly, now they are the ones who look unprofessional and petty. Social scenario. Imagine a friend at a party makes a mean-spirited joke at your expense. Instead of laughing along awkwardly or getting defensive, you calmly say, "That's disappointing, man. I expected more from you." Then you smoothly move on to another conversation, leaving them to sit with their own shame and embarrassment. The message is clear. Their words don't control you, and their attempt to hurt you has failed. Family scenario. If a relative makes a rude remark about your choices or lifestyle, instead of engaging in an argument or trying to justify yourself, you simply sigh deeply, shake your head slowly, and say, "I thought you'd be more supportive." The room instantly goes quiet, and now they are the ones who look bitter, petty, and isolated. The silent power of disappointment. The moment you respond with disappointment instead of anger, you strip the insulter of their power. Most people who throw insults expect a reaction: anger, defensiveness, or silence. But when you show them that their words don't shake you, it forces them to question their own actions. What happens next? They either backpedal awkwardly, trying to explain themselves, or they avoid insulting you again in the future. Either way, you win without lifting a finger. Final thought: let them sit with their failed insult. Next time someone tries to bring you down, don't fight back. Just sigh and say, "That's disappointing," then walk away. That moment will linger in their mind for a long, long time. 3. Use sarcasm to humiliate them. Sometimes the best way to handle an insult is to turn it into a joke at their expense. Sarcasm is a powerful weapon, and when used correctly, it makes the insulter look like a fool. Why it works? Sarcasm makes them look ridiculous. Instead of being the aggressor, they become petty and small-minded. It shifts the audience's attention. If others are listening, they'll side with you, not the rude person. It prevents escalation because you stay cool, composed, and in control, while making the other person visibly uncomfortable. How to execute sarcasm perfectly? Keep a straight face. The less emotional you appear, the funnier it is. Use an exaggerated tone to make it clear that you don't take them seriously. Make them the punchline by turning their insult into a joke that backfires on them. Examples of sarcastic comebacks. Insult: "Wow, you really screwed that up." Comeback: "Thanks, Captain Obvious. Where would I be without your wisdom?" Insult: "You're not very smart, are you?" To be continued. Comebacks for sarcastic insults. Insult: "Oh no, I was actually trying to keep up with your genius level." Insult: "Nice outfit. Did you lose a bet?" Comeback: "Yeah, I bet someone said you'd make a dumb comment today and I won." Insult: "You're not very smart, are you?" Comeback: "Oh no, I was just trying to keep up with your genius level." Insult: "Nice outfit. Did you lose a bet?" Comeback: "Yeah, I was betting someone would say something silly today. Looks like I won." The psychology behind sarcasm. Sarcasm is a clever tool because it turns the tables. When someone tries to embarrass or shame you, and you twist their words into a joke, they become the laughing stock instead. This method works exceptionally well in social settings where others are watching. The person who can laugh and remain composed always appears stronger and more in control. Real-life example: imagine you're at a party, and someone mocks your job. Instead of getting defensive, you smirk and say, "Oh, I had no idea you were so concerned about my career. Should I send you my resume now?" Suddenly, they look obsessed with your life, not you. Or picture someone insulting your appearance. Instead of feeling hurt, you laugh and say, "Yeah, I was actually going for the annoying people like you look today." Nailed it. Final thought: make them feel foolish, not cruel. The goal of sarcasm isn't to hurt, but to make them second-guess their own words. A well-placed sarcastic remark makes them look dumb without you even trying. So next time someone insults you, don't just take it, mock them right back. They'll think twice before trying it again. 4th, flip it into a compliment. One of the most powerful ways to handle an insult is to twist it into praise so smoothly that it leaves the insulter dumbfounded. Instead of reacting with anger or sarcasm, you disarm them completely by acting as if their insult was a compliment all along. Why it works: it neutralizes their attack. They wanted to offend you, but now they are confused. It makes you look untouchable. No one can hurt you if you take everything positively. It makes them look immature. Instead of engaging, you elevate yourself above their level. This strategy works because it removes the emotional sting from their words. Instead of defending yourself, you embrace their insult like a gift, and suddenly, they are the ones who look foolish. How to execute it perfectly? Smile confidently. Nothing throws people off more than an unbothered reaction. Use a sincere tone, making it sound like you genuinely took it as a compliment. Walk away or smoothly change the subject, letting them sit with their failed insult. Examples of flipping insults into compliments. Insult: "You're such a nerd." Comeback: "Thanks." Intelligence is seriously underrated these days. Insult: "You're way too obsessed with your goals." Comeback: "I appreciate that. Passion is everything." Insult: "You try too hard." Comeback: "I know, right? Imagine what I could do if I actually put in some effort." Insult: "You're not funny." Comeback: "You're a tough crowd. I appreciate the challenge." The psychology behind this tactic. This method works because it completely reverses the power dynamic. When someone insults you, they expect resistance, anger, or at least some kind of emotional reaction. But when you turn their insult into praise, it feels as though they have just handed you a win on a silver platter. Suddenly, their words don't hurt you. Instead, they fuel your confidence. What's even worse for them is that everyone around you sees it too. They see that you don't crack under pressure. Think about it. When was the last time you saw a truly confident and successful person get emotionally rattled by an insult? Exactly, they don't. Real-life examples. At work, a coworker sarcastically says, "Wow, you actually stayed late to finish that project. Get a life." You respond with a genuine smile, "I know, my dedication is unmatched." Now, instead of making you look bad, they've simply pointed out your strong work ethic. In social circles, a so-called friend mocks you. "You always talk about self-improvement." It's annoying. You reply confidently, "That means I'm making progress." Appreciate you noticing. Suddenly, they look bitter about your growth, while you stand firm. Family gatherings. A family member comments, "You really don't care what people think, do you?" You casually respond, "It's one of my best qualities." Just like that, their attempt to shame you turns into a moment of your own self-assurance. The hidden lesson: you control the narrative. People can insult you all they want, but at the end of the day, you decide what those words mean. If you choose to take every insult as a compliment, you become invincible. It's like verbal jiu-jitsu. Instead of fighting back, you use their own energy against them. You redirect their negativity into something that strengthens you. The best part: once people realize their insults don't affect you, they stop trying. Final thought: stay uncheckable. Next time someone throws an insult your way, smile, nod, and turn it into a win. They'll walk away feeling like they just lost a battle, because that's exactly what happened. 5. Act confused and make them repeat it. One of the most underrated ways to handle an insult is by acting like you simply don't understand it. Instead of reacting emotionally, you throw the problem back at them, make them repeat their words until they start to sound ridiculous or even embarrassed. Why this works so well? It disrupts their momentum. The insulter expects a reaction: anger, sadness, or defensiveness, but instead, they are met with awkward silence and confusion. It forces them to reflect. Making them repeat the insult highlights how immature or weak their words really are. It puts you in control. They intended to embarrass you, but now they're the ones stumbling over their own words. This strategy is incredibly powerful because it flips the entire dynamic. Instead of engaging in their negativity, you force them into an uncomfortable position where they begin questioning themselves. How to execute it perfectly? Keep a straight face. Avoid smirking or acting sarcastic. Genuine confusion works best. Ask for clarification using a neutral or curious tone, as if you truly don't understand. Let them struggle. The more they try to explain, the weaker their insult becomes. Examples of this tactic in action. Insult: "You're such a loser." Comeback: "Wait, what do you mean? Like, in what way?" Now they have to explain why they think you're a loser. Insult: "You dress like a clown." Comeback: "I don't get it. What do you mean by that?" Forcing them to describe why it's bad makes them sound ridiculous. Insult: "Wow, you really think you're smart, don't you?" Comeback: "I'm confused. What are you trying to say?" Now they have to reword it and dig themselves into a deeper hole. Insult: you're so annoying. Comeback: annoying. How exactly do you explain that? Suddenly, they have to come up with a legitimate reason, and it messes with their head. When you make someone repeat an insult, it loses its sting. Many insults are quick, impulsive remarks designed to hit emotionally. By questioning them, you turn their insult into an awkward discussion. Most people aren't prepared to actually explain their insults, they were just meant to provoke a reaction. By acting confused, you shift the dynamic from defensive to offensive without being aggressive. They're now forced to justify their insult, which makes it obvious how childish or baseless their words really are. Real-life example: workplace scenario. A coworker sneers, "Wow, you take your job so seriously," as you calmly tilt your head and ask, "What makes you say that?" You tilt your head slightly and ask, "I'm not sure what you mean. Should I not take it seriously?" Now, they're faced with a choice: admit they were being petty or awkwardly backtrack. Social circles. Imagine a so-called friend says, "You always talk about deep stuff. It's kind of weird." You raise an eyebrow and respond, "Oh, what do you mean by weird?" Suddenly, they have to explain why having meaningful conversations is somehow a bad thing. Family gatherings. At a family event, a relative jokes, "You're really bad at small talk, huh?" You reply completely neutral, "Huh, what do you mean?" Now they're stuck awkwardly fumbling for words, trying to justify why they think your way of talking is wrong. The hidden lesson: people generally dislike having to justify their insults. Most insults are empty and rely heavily on emotion and eliciting a reaction. But when you make someone slow down and explain themselves, they often backtrack with responses like, never mind, forget it, that sounds dumb, I don't know, I just meant whatever," or just take the joke. They get embarrassed, and you win by making them lose confidence in their own insult. Final thought: stay uncheckable. Next time someone insults you, don't react emotionally. Instead, act confused, stay calm, and make them work for it. Trust me, most people don't have the courage to repeat what they just said. When you force them to break it down, their confidence crumbles. 6. Expose their weakness. When someone insults you, they're usually projecting their own insecurities. Instead of getting defensive, flip the script and subtly highlight their weakness. This forces them to realize that their insult was never about you, it was about their own personal issues. Why this works so well? It puts them on the defensive. They were trying to make you feel insecure, but now they're the ones being exposed. It flips the power dynamic. Instead of reacting emotionally, you turn the tables and make them second-guess themselves. It reveals their true motive. People who insult others are often covering up their own shortcomings. Most insults come from a place of insecurity. If you can identify what they're projecting, you can disarm them instantly. How to expose their weakness without looking aggressive. Stay calm. The key is to make it look like an observation, not an attack. Use curiosity to frame your response, as if you're genuinely trying to understand why they said what they did. Make them uncomfortable. A well-placed remark can make them second-guess their entire insult. Personal experience: the guy who mocked my ambition. I remember a time when a so-called friend of mine always had something slick to say whenever I talked about my goals. One day, I casually mentioned how I was working on improving myself, waking up early, reading more, and being disciplined. He smirked and said, "Why do you even try so hard? You think you're better than everyone." Instead of getting defensive, I paused and calmly asked, "Do you feel like you're not trying hard enough?" His face changed instantly. In a split second, he went from smug to uneasy. He stammered something about just joking, but I could tell the conversation had shifted. He wasn't expecting me to turn the mirror on him. Over time, I realized that his jabs weren't really about me. He was struggling with his own lack of discipline and felt deeply insecure about it. My effort and determination reminded him of what he wasn't doing. When I exposed that truth, he had nothing left to say. Real-life scenarios. At work, a coworker sneers, "You really take your job seriously, huh?" You respond confidently, "Why does my work ethic bother you?" Suddenly, they have to admit that they're the one who slacks off. In social circles, someone says, "You're always so quiet." It's kind of weird. You smile and ask, "Do you feel uncomfortable?" when there's silence. Suddenly, they're the ones looking insecure and uneasy. In dating or relationships, A partner jokes, "You always need your space, don't you?" You calmly reply, "Does it make you anxious when people have boundaries?" Now, they have to reflect on why that actually bothers them. The hidden lesson: people reveal their own weaknesses. Most insults tell you far more about the insulter than about yourself. If someone mocks your confidence, it's likely because they lack confidence themselves. If they insult your ambition, they're probably insecure about their own laziness or lack of drive. Instead of reacting emotionally, flip the script and make them confront their own issues. When you do this calmly and confidently, you expose their insecurities without aggression or conflict. Final thought: stay uncheckable. Next time someone insults you, don't just take it or get defensive. Instead, calmly expose their insecurity and watch them crumble under the weight of their own weakness. Your composure becomes your greatest weapon. Because the truth is, they were never really attacking you, they were revealing themselves. 7. Walk away like they're not worth your time. Sometimes, the most powerful response is no response at all. When someone insults you, they are fishing for a reaction. They want to see you flustered, upset, or defensive. But when you simply shrug and walk away, you send a crystal clear message: "You're not even worth my energy. Why this works so well." It deprives them of satisfaction. Their entire goal was to get under your skin. If you don't react, they fail. It makes them feel insignificant. By acting as if their words don't matter, you show them just how little impact they have. It shows confidence. Only someone truly secure in themselves can ignore an insult and simply move on. When you walk away like they don't exist, you strip them of their power. Nothing frustrates an insecure person more than realizing they have no control over you. How to do this without looking weak: keep your body language relaxed. No rushing, no tension, just calm indifference. Don't give them a second glance. Looking back gives them hope that they still have your attention. Maintain a slight smirk. This subtle expression makes it seem like you know something they don't. Personal experience: the guy who wanted a reaction. I remember back in high school, there was this guy who loved provoking others. He thrived on making people feel small, hoping they'd react so he could feel bigger himself. One day, he tried it with me. I was standing by my locker when he walked by and muttered just loud enough for me to hear, "Wow, trying way too hard to be cool." I didn't flinch. I didn't even look at him. I just calmly grabbed my stuff, shut my locker, and walked away as if he didn't exist. As I left, I could feel his frustration. He had expected some comeback, some reaction, but all he got was nothing. That was the last time he ever tried messing with me. Real life scenarios. At work, a coworker mocks you during a meeting. Instead of engaging, you smile, nod, and get back to work. Soon, they'll realize they're just talking to themselves. In social circles, someone tries to embarrass you at a party. Instead of defending yourself or engaging in their drama, you simply grab your drink and walk away, leaving them looking desperate for attention. In relationships, when a partner tries to bait you into an argument, don't take the bait. Say nothing and quietly leave the room. They'll be left stewing in their own frustration, while you remain calm and unshaken. The hidden lesson: not every battle is worth fighting. Some people thrive on drama and negativity because it gives them a false sense of power. They want to pull you into their toxic energy to feel better about themselves. But when you refuse to engage, you send a clear message: their words mean absolutely nothing to you. And ironically, that is the biggest insult of all. Final thought: confidence speaks louder than words. Next time someone insults you, try this. Don't react, don't argue, just walk away. Because nothing screams power louder than acting as if someone isn't even worth your time. At the end of the day, the way you handle insults says far more about you than the insult itself. Weak people get defensive. Insecure people try to fight back. But truly confident people, they know their worth, and they don't feel the need to prove it to anyone. Walking away isn't about being passive or weak. It's about choosing wisely where to invest your energy. Ask yourself honestly, is this person really worth my time, my emotions, my peace of mind? If the answer is no, then don't give them what they want. Let them sit in their own frustration while you move forward completely unbothered. The truth: the more you value yourself, the less you'll entertain nonsense. Real confidence is silent, composed, and powerful. It's not about proving others wrong. it's about knowing you're already right. So, next time someone tries to pull you into their negativity, remember this. You don't have to fight every battle. Sometimes, the strongest move is simply to walk away.